Hello, my name is Heidi Campbell, and this is discussion 3.2. And we were asked to compare one of the three tools with the Q-tip tool. So I opted to use the 5 W's and an H. Not the 5 W's and an H, the 5 W's, because I'm really kind of comfortable with that after being a journalism teacher for years and years and years, like 20 something years. I always taught journalism and looking at news with that critical eye using the 5 W's. So I had a comfort zone with that, and I think students do too. So I opted for that one. When I compared it with the Q-tip 5 key elements, I noticed that both of them had both of them looked at 5 different key items. Obviously, the 5 W's talked about who, what, when, where, and why, and the Q-tip method dealt with the things like, and I did take notes here, authorship, format, audience, content, and purpose. Both of these looked at who created the resource and what the message and the purpose was. So I found that those were other similarities. So those were some of the similarities that I found to answer out question number 1. Question number 2 asked to explore the differences that I found between the two tools. And one thing that I found was that with the 5 key questions, the content was what was mostly different. The Q-tip questions seemed to me to be more modern, had a more modern vibe and focus. They asked questions about the creative techniques that were used. They asked questions about the perceptions of the messages, whereas the 5 W focus seemed almost more flat. It seemed like it was more on the author's purpose, and the usability, but a lot more just content driven and who came up with the content and when and what is it about. So I think that the main difference that I found was that the Q-tip seemed to be more in touch with how the media content impacts the values and lifestyle of the modern learner, which I found was interesting. And I'm not sure that the 5 W's goes into such detail. So that was the differences that I found. As far as number 3, asking me which one out of the 2 that I believe media specialists should use, that's an interesting question, because I'll be honest, when I set out to complete this assignment, I completely 100% thought that I was going to be team 5W. Like I said at the beginning, I felt very strongly that the 5 W's is a great tool, and it's kind of its own mnemonic device so that students can easily adapt it, and I can easily adapt it and remember it because we think about things like the 5 W's. It's easy to remember. But if I'm being honest, I have to say that the Q-tip model has won me over. And the reason that it has is because I feel like it has much more modern applicability than the 5 W's. It encompasses more modern, important modern things. So I think that I would like to use that one more, but I think I'd have to come up with some sort of mnemonic device to remember the 5 key elements. And so I was thinking about that, and in my notes, and like I just have notes. I don't have a script, I promise. I think I said that last time too. But in my notes, I came up with some abbreviations, and I think of how I could remember the five key elements of this one. And so I think I like FACPA, F-A-C-P-A. FACPA, like it's a FACPA, I like it. But that would enable me to remember that I want to look at the F for format, A for authorship, C for content, P for purpose, and A for audience. And I think that kind of rounds out a way that I can remember those key elements, because I'm assuming that it really doesn't matter what order I think about them in. But I did really like the modern relevance that the Q-tip tool offered. So that's the one that I would use. Thank you.